Night has fallen by the time we exit the movie house. Okay, let's see our relationship changes. Oh, Rebecca doesn't like us. Now she likes us less than everyone else except for Hannah and Luke, but they don't matter. Okay. Despite the late hour, the streets are still bustling full of people. Those about to head home, those set to meet someone, even those wandering about. Simply wandering about. Walking in this sea of unfamiliar souls, it strikes me how easy it is for one to get lost in a city as nondescript as Luxborn. I was afraid too, at one point back when I was new and just had set foot in this place. Now, with familiar faces walking with me, it feels a little like home. Zach and Ash bid us goodbye shortly before Becca and I crossed to the other side of the street. The former claiming he's got a few freelance jobs to take care of before the day ends, and Ash. Who knows? He never tells. Sometimes he'll just randomly appear at your doorstep, looking for a place to crash. He does that to Zach a lot, much to the latter's frustration. But he's a busy guy too, in spite of the laid-back air he gives off.
Thanks for today, everyone!
Whoa, just sudden shouting.
No problem, Zach. I'm sorry for what happened earlier.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Huh?
It's probably too quiet, but there's some really creepy whispering going on. Help me! A sensation, cold, sickening, drowning, my chest tightening, breathing becoming labored. I can taste blood in my mouth, the edges of my vision blurs. In the distance, amidst the countless nameless people going about their lives, a voice reaches out to me. Help me. Pleading even as I clench my eyes tight and clasp my hands over my ears. Excuse me. Whispering and whispering and whispering. Calling out. Help me. Please.
No, not me.
Help me. Somebody. Help me.
Isabella? Earth to Isabella?
At her voice, the whole world suddenly snaps into place, the murmur's gone. When I open my eyes, Becca raises an eyebrow at me in question.
Weren't you listening? Are you coming with me? Oh, yeah. Just... okay. Sorry, I spaced out.
So, even though Isabella showed, what was it? Like 6 people now, the letter, she's still being haunted by this thing? What is going on? I mean, wasn't she supposed to show 5 people? Maybe it was 7 and she still has 1 more to go. I don't know.
You always do that.
Oh, Becca, what was that, huh? Being a little catty? I follow her without complaint, but not before sneaking a glance at the far end of the street. Where the voice came from, where another set of eyes might be staring at me. Nothing. There are only Zach and Ash watching over us as we head back to where Becca parked her car. If I'm expecting to see something or someone there, I try not to let it show. Try not to think of the tiny pinpricks of fear crawling at the pit of my stomach.
See you guys some other time.
Yeah, see ya.
Another glance, and with a final wave, we go off on our own ways. I don't know what I saw. I don't know what I heard. I don't want to know. But if this is what would help me sleep tonight, what would give back that normalcy in my life, then so be it. Ooh, October 22nd, Saturday. The darkness closes around me, grasping, pulling, engulfing me. The ground caves in, and without warning, I'm falling. Oh, so this is out. Yeah, it's a couple noodles. Noodle cup. I love this bat cat. That's awesome. Oh, pictures. Yeah, messy. Yeah, not too bad. Looks decent. My eyes snap open. For an instant, it doesn't immediately register where I am. Both my back and shoulders ache after I've fallen asleep all hunched up the night before. Drenched in sweat, the nest of pillows I often keep around me feels more suffocating than comforting. I let my eyes adjust to the bright morning light streaming through my window and allow my breathing to slow down before untangling myself from the pile. I haven't had a single dream since coming to Luxborn, or at least none that I can recall having. It's a shame because they used to be so vivid. Not the crazy vivid, but the more pleasant kind I'll tell my siblings about. You know, I used to have these dreams about like another life where there was this entire history to it and these people that I like had all these connections with. And then I'd wake up and it'd just be so confusing, so weird and so odd. Like I just came back from viewing another life. I like not like past life, but alternate reality life. So yeah, none of it ever felt like, oh, past life stuff. You're reliving past life you had. No, it's like an alternate life. Maybe it's just the stress of living alone. And you know, I actually sometimes like drift off into this weird semi-sleep state where I hear voices and it's like I'm tapping into like someone else or like another me's mind and hearing stuff or something like that. Very odd. Just dreams though. Maybe it's just the stress of living alone. The knowledge that I'll always wake up in an empty apartment with no one to tell stories to. Except for maybe Ash? Or how about Becca? Or Zach? You know, we don't know which way Isabella goes. Or maybe all three of them, right? Huh? I mean, the friends who sleep together, stay together? I know it doesn't sound quite right.
What time is it?
Habit forces me to look over the clock, even with the soreness weighing heavily on my shoulders and compulsion to never leave my bed for the day. Sorry about that second my. In a heartbeat, I'm up.
Oh man, of all the times to oversleep. Towel? Where's my towel?
There's a towel. Probably not the towel you're looking for, but it's functional. Admittingly, it's a weekend. As an unspoken rule that entitles me to extra hours of sleep. But if Rose didn't kill me yesterday, she sure as hell will now. And right after what happened. Oh Lord, one box of donuts as peace offering won't be enough to second time around. Grabbing my towel, I'm already a few short steps away from the bathroom when a muffled ringing breaks out from my bag. There's a moment of indecision at first, my mind conflicted whether I should just ignore or answer it. But what if it's Rose? Or worse, our boss? Ah, sheesh. In the end, the rational part of my brain wins out. The letter from yesterday peeks out when I pull the device out. Just the sight of it is enough to put me in a foul mood, but it takes every force of will for me to ignore it in favor of answering the call. The caller ID reads Mama.
Huh?
It's around 4:45 p.m. in the Philippines right now.
That's an unusual time for them to call.
Usually it's around noon time here and I'm the one calling, not the other way around. Better for them to use that money on something else than an international call. Regardless, I'm in the most cheerful tone I can gather.
Hello?
Hello? Grace? How are you?
Grace?
Mama, I'm doing okay. How are you guys over there?
Is Grace like a middle name? Or maybe Isabella is a middle name?
We're good. EJ won a storytelling contest at school the other week. Brought home a medal. I thought you should know.
There's a tired lilt in her voice as she speaks. It's been there since Papa had to leave his job. I wish there's something I can do for her. But from miles away like this, the least I'm able to do is not make her worry. If only my older brother would actually lend her a hand, but Lord knows if that'll ever happen. Odds are, Kaya Jordan's already out drinking right now. Again. Can't count on my older sister either, knowing she has a family of her own, and, well... Anne's financial situation isn't exactly great right now, having ran herself knee-deep in debt. I'm guessing that's aunt? Like an aunt? Maybe the kuyu is like uncle?
Great! That's great! Tell him congratulations from me. And let him know I'm gonna send him a little something extra this Christmas. How about Nico? Karen? Michael? I hope they're okay?
There's the problem. Having too many kids. Too many super expensive kids.
They're doing well. They wanted to talk to you, but they're all busy with school.
Oh no, that's fine. I don't want to bother them. Just tell them to keep doing their best for me. I'll just call back when I know they're not busy. And Papa? How's Papa doing?
You know, having one kid would be fine for me, but having two kids would just scare the crap out of me with how much it costs. Although I imagine having two kids around is a little bit better because they get to play with each other. It's a subject I'm a bit hesitant to broach from the way Mama's voice hitches. She doesn't want to bring it up either.
Grace, he's having a little difficulty right now. Weak appetite, he's having trouble swallowing, and lost a few pounds. But the doctor said we should keep encouraging him. It just means his body's accepting his new treatment well.
Uh-oh.
The money you sent last time helped a lot to pay for it, by the way.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I see. That's good.
I won't deny that life has gotten tougher for our family. It used to be easy back when Papa was in good shape. See, that's why we need some kind of universal health care for when things like this happens and families don't have to suffer. Just because, you know, naturally it's going to happen eventually. But ever since he was diagnosed with a sickness 5 years ago, he had been unable to provide for us. Now the burden of feeding 8 mouths and 8 mouths, my goodness. And settling Papa's bills all rest on my shoulders. Although Mama makes a little accepting sewing and laundry jobs in her neighborhood, it's scarcely enough to cover the costs of day-to-day living, let alone the bloating hospital bills. Is that thing blinking? Is it bleaking? It's getting a little bleaky with that. Probably not, but... Can't even expect help from our own government because the health insurance there barely covers anything. Well, I guess you need good universal health insurance, not crappy.
I'm sure he'll get better soon. Is he well enough to talk? Do you think I'll be able to speak to him, Ma?
Silence. I start to think that the call got cut until...
Listen, Grace. Maybe it's better if we transfer Papa to a different hospital. Somewhere cheaper?
Uh-oh.
What? Why? Did something happen? Is it the deposit issue again? Give me the hospital's number. I'll talk to them.
No, it's nothing bad. The service here is good. Too good. Even the doctors.
Oh my god, these doctors are just way too good. We need to go somewhere crappier.
But I'm worried you're working yourself to the ground because of it.
To the ground.
Mama, we've been through this before. I want the best for Papa. And don't worry about the bills or the medicine, or me for that matter.
Gods, when it happens, you better hope you have children who are able and willing to help you.
I can handle myself. Everything's going well here. In fact, we're about to close a large sale.
Hopefully. If not, then I'll find another way. She doesn't need to know that. There's always stripping, right? You know, that was the thing about the financial crash in the early 2000s, was because I noticed a lot, well, anyway, it was a big boon for the porn and stripping industry. Or I guess the sex industry. Sorry, Mama, you taught me not to lie, yet look at what I'm doing.
I'll have money to send over soon to cover the rest of Papa's treatment. And there's more than enough for Karen, Nico, Michael, and EJ's school tuition, too.
Thank you so much, dear. I appreciate it. We all do. But I just wish you'd come home to us soon.
Ah. Kailan Kaua? I don't know. I'm absolutely terrible with foreign languages. I just cannot really pick it up too well. When are you coming home? EJ, the youngest, used to be the only person asking me that. How do you respond to a question you don't have a definite answer to? 5 years later and I still can't give them a straight one. I smile, though Mama can't see it. I fight to keep my lips from quivering, my voice from shaking. She's got enough on her plate as it is. No need to weigh her down with unnecessary concerns, especially with a curse, right? Weigh her down with a curse? Oh, I can't. I got cursed. So I'm kind of stuck here. I cursed some friends. I cursed some clients. And it's just crazy right now. Just crazy. I'm hearing whispering. And it's just weird. I can't come home now.
Promise me you'll be there to welcome me when I do, okay?
Of course. I'm sorry, Grace. I need to take this for a while.
There's a small commotion on the other end, the sound of gates opening, the voice of a child, EJ, talking excitedly about his day at school, the tapping of feet on the floorboards as he runs. It's been years since I went home, but I still can picture the whole scene in my mind. How tall is he now? Are the neighborhood kids bullying him now that I'm not around? Did Mama rearrange the furniture in the living room again? What are they having for dinner today? I miss them. I miss them so much.
It's okay, Ma. I need to go too. I've got work today. I'll call again soon, alright?
On a Saturday? Oh, never mind. Take care of yourself, dear. I love you.
I love you. Bye.
It ends with a soft click, leaving half-truths and empty promises hanging in the air. Closing my eyes for a moment, I take a deep breath and shake away the thoughts beginning to swim inside my mind. It's pointless to mull over these things right now.
Okay, Isabella. Time to get that mansion sold.
Unfortunately, before I can take a single step away from my phone, it rings again. No doubt Mama forgot to say something.
Mama? Did you forget anything?
Awkward, right?
Excuse you? I'm too young to be your mom. Are you still sleeping?
Yeah, but you sound like a mother.
Hold on, never mind that. Get yourself in the office. Hurry!
Office? What about the open house? Oh no. Is it Sir John? Did he hear about yesterday? Am I in trouble?
Gods, that's the same look she got when she saw that that apparition the other day. This Sir John must be such a terrible person if she's got that same look.
Oh god, oh god, oh god! I'm gonna get yelled at, aren't I? What do I do? I'll buy you an extra box of donuts if...
No, it's nothing like that. Will you calm down? Get yourself here, alright? I'll tell you everything then.
Okay, Luxborn is in Australia, right? That's my prediction, Australia. Even though they don't really have Australian accents. There's the telltale din of several feet shuffling against the wooden flooring and an indistinct yelling in the background before Rose cuts the connection. That isn't in any way comforting. But it's enough reason for me to hastily discard my phone and finish my shower in record time. I make it to our office within 20 minutes of leaving my apartment completely disheveled and out of breath. A feat, if I take into account my usual travel time. Routine clamor common to Briar Realty's Luxborn office greets me as soon as my foot crosses the threshold. Papers rustling, telephones ringing at sporadic intervals, agents talking at varying volumes, staff moving about, and...
Where the hell is C? Where are my employees? What the actual fuck, guys? Of all the times to disappear without notice.
Whoa! 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 Unprofessional, right? Jeez. My boss's words turn muffled as someone else closes the door to his office, likely the work of our HR manager. Throughout the past weeks, he's been in a bad mood over a few employees who have failed to report to work. I hear they're still trying to get a hold of them, but to no avail. The result is, half their workload has been shifted to all available staff, so as not to lose clients. Not that I mind the extra work. If anything, it means I'll have more to send to my family back home. Although the rumors of a branch closure circulating because of this is indeed a bit worrisome. My bag barely touches the top of my table when Rose pulls me aside.
Here, I need you to help me with these papers. If you could also get these signed and photocopied before lunch today, that would be great.
One after another, she thrusts a bunch of paperwork in my hands without explanation. A page flutters away from the top of the pile, and I lean down to pick it up, my eyes scanning the top of the page as I straighten. A purchase and sale agreement. Rose simply gestures her thumb in the direction of our visitor lounge when I tilt my head in question. There, seated on the sofa and looking completely out of place, is the humbly decorated room. Out of place in the humbly decorated room. Yes, the humbly decorated room is here to purchase the mansion. Is the same couple from the day before. The Wrights. Something bubbles up in my throat. Their presence in the office can only mean one thing.
They're buying it? We got a deal?
They hired a decorator. After all, I mean, it would be super awkward to already hire the decorator and then not actually buy the place. She swats at my hand, tugging her sleeve, although her eyes are alight with something akin to joy. She wants this sale to happen as much as I do, and now that it's here, the deal needs to be closed yet, documents need to be signed still, but the elation is there, along with a foreboding feeling I can't quite pinpoint.
I had to do a little damage control, but they're already interested in acquiring the property, even before they attended the open house.
The foreboding is probably having to do with cursing them and the interior designer.
I mean, isn't it obvious? They already hired an interior designer. I've never seen a buyer as aggressive as Madam Wright. She didn't even try to negotiate a lower rate.
One at a time, Rose. I can't process everything you're saying at once. What do you mean?
Oh my god, what do you mean they bought the house? What?
They're paying 15% higher than the listing price, as long as we get the paperwork done as soon as possible.
Oh my god, rich people problems, right?
I think if we allow it, they'll be paying up front, too.
Even with that urban legend?
Even with that weird-ass letter that cursed them? Huh. Rose full body nods.
Oh, I was so sure we lost the sale after yesterday.
Don't look so surprised. We still have to conduct some last few checks before we completely hand it over to them.
Please. I'll happily do the paperwork duty, Rose. I'll even go to the land registry myself and make sure the property changes hands with every single legal blessing.
Don't they have better things to spend money on? I don't know. With all those tax cuts, they're probably just baffled by what to spend all that money on after all. I'd haggle it down to the lowest possible price if I were in their place, especially with the stories attached to it. Not that my opinion matters one bit here. We're just their agents who are going to receive the hefty commission after all, nothing more. Rose gives me a pat on the shoulder, signaling that she's heading back to them and an unspoken instruction for me to follow after I'm done. You know, I could never get myself into sales because it seemed like a lot of the strategies was to lie to the customer. And personally, I feel being upfront and honest with the customer tends to be better in the long run. Doesn't take me long to finish what work she left me. In fact, having our boss sign the agreement is the easiest, since it has put him in a better mood to the entire office's relief. Mom Hana calls me over the moment she notices my presence at the lounge door. She welcomes me with a bright smile, her movements more open than what one would typically expect from a passing client to have.
Oh, Isabel! How are you feeling? You looked awfully dreadful yesterday.
Isabella, I'm fine now, ma'am. I appreciate your concern.
Really don't understand why they can't get my name right. It's a fairly common name. It shouldn't be too hard to remember. See, never mind. Regardless, I hand them the copy of the agreement.
Wonderful. Your team works unbelievably fast.
Mom Hana skims through each of them with a scrutinizing eye, checking every page for my inconsistencies and errors. Despite the unassuming impression she gives off, she appears fully aware of what to look for in the process contracts like these undergoes. It is surprising, to be quite honest. I haven't pegged her for someone who is well versed in these things, yet here she is. She shows some of it to her husband, and he responds with the same passive interest as if he's more than happy to leave everything to her. I can't tell if it is purely because he believes she's capable enough, doesn't care about what they are buying, or he simply finds paperwork tedious. Apparently satisfied with what she's seen, Mom Hana claps her hands together before extending it to us for a shake. Rose and I release the breath we've been holding, both of us more than happy to return the gesture.
That
Or
settles
gesture.
it then?
We're gonna return her gesture to her after we held it hostage unless she signed the paperwork.
Are you really sure about this property, ma'am?
Are you sure about this curse?
We could easily find you a bigger one among our current listings. Something with a modern touch?
Something not cursed? Something not haunted, perhaps? Rose shoots me a warning glance that clearly says, don't make a scene, we're almost there.
Of course, why wouldn't I be? The house is absolutely perfect, isn't it, darling?
A helipad would still be a nice addition.
Yes, well, we'll get there eventually, love. As I was saying, if your partner had the documents yesterday, we would have bought it right there immediately. Shame she didn't have it.
Well, there's still a few necessary documents we need you to sign after, but we'll let you know once we have those finalized. We'll be handling the process for the rest, so don't worry about it, ma'am.
Within a week, I hope. We still have a housewarming party to plan, after all. You know how much thought should be put into those things.
There are servants for that, darling.
Love, wouldn't it be better if we handled it ourselves? A personal touch of sorts. It is our housewarming party and our new home.
No more than a week, ma'am. Barring unexpected delay, of course. You can leave it to us.
Excellent. Well then, I'll leave you two to it. It's been a pleasure doing business with you. Oh, and before we forget...
Bounce. She discreetly folds something into our hands and winks. It's her phone number, isn't it? It's her phone number. That'd be hilarious. A finger raised to her lips, demanding our silence.
I know both of you worked hard on getting us this beautiful mansion.
See, it is a lot of money, and her phone number with a promise of even more money if you call, right?
Did I mention we reward our people generously?
But this is... Ma'am, I can't accept this.
I can't accept this bribe.
Don't you worry, darling. It's a small thing coming from us. Consider this your bonus for a job well done.
For the quick work you're doing, and the quick work you're gonna do later. She smiles sweetly, like this is simply the most normal thing to do in the world.
Oh, before I forget, my lovely interior designer would appreciate it if you hand her a copy of the floor plan as soon as possible.
She's dying to work on the house.
Oh yeah, she's gonna be dying to work on the house indeed.
You can do that, yes? Here's her contact.
Yeah, she's gonna be dying at the house.
Certainly, ma'am. We'll have it processed as soon as possible.
I knew I could count on you, lovelies. I hope to see you two soon so we can get this closed.
Just like that, transaction over and done with. My mind's still reeling even after they've left. Other agents would kill to have clients like them. A part of me feels lucky about the fact. No lengthy negotiations, no sudden change of minds. Just talk, signatures, a few handshakes here and there, and we're done. The other part? A second ago, we sold a haunted property to two innocent, already cursed clients, so they might as well buy the house. Sure, the commission's big. Big enough to continue funding Papa's treatment and hospitalization. Big enough to pay for all 4 of my younger siblings' schooling. Geez, that's one hell of a bonus. Heck, it'll keep me away from instant noodle diet for months. I don't have to go back to the mansion as well once the deal has been closed, much to my sanity's relief. But knowing that something's in there, and we gave it to the good couple despite that. Oh, Isabella. The things you do to sell a house and get money. Papa won't be happy with that. You know, they have enough money to afford someone to cleanse that house, right? At least I have good news to tell next time I call home. The little lie I told Mama this morning isn't a lie anymore.
Well, there's something. So how does it feel?
How does what feel?
Your first big multi-million-pound sale, silly. I know you've been with us for years, but this has got to be memorable for you.
Memorable is an understatement, Rose.
Come on, show some enthusiasm. They gave us a bonus, too, aside from the commission and the other bonus boss promised. What are you going to do with it?
I don't know. Send it home, probably?
All of it?
Not everything, of course. Most of it. I'll leave some for my living expenses.
Listen here, Isabella. I'll teach you something I should have told you before we ended your training.
Invest it. You invest it. You don't just spend it. You don't send it to family. You invest it. And then the money you get, the residual, I don't know what it's called, the interest, whatever, you use that and you send it to your family. Right? That's the big secret.
It's okay to celebrate from time to time.
I don't get it.
You don't get it. You don't get it. Celebration? You don't understand celebration? This is a person who did not exactly have birthday celebrations, right? Sorry, gotta hand feed my cat because for some reason he just won't eat out of the cat dish anymore.
It's simple. Go out, do something for yourself. Throw a party and treat your friends to free food. Didn't you say the last one's some sort of tradition back at home for you? Hello, this is practically a done deal.
Isn't throwing a party a bit excessive?
Your call. I won't say no to an invitation, by the way, in case you really are planning to throw one.
I don't think my apartment's big enough for that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to click so soon. I thought it was done.
You could always move? Bloody hell, you're working in real estate.
You know, real estate agents I knew always bought up the good houses.
I think I'll pass. That's too much of an unnecessary expense for me. But I did promise Becca free lunch in case the sale goes well.
You go do that. Hold on a sec.
She quickly removes herself from me to answer the phone on her desk. Her tone shifts from playful to professional in the span of a few seconds.
Today? Not a problem, ma'am. I could bring you a copy of the contract if...
Must be another client. Nothing surprising there. She's one of BRC's top agents, no matter how modest she appears. A saleswoman through and through. I, on the other hand, have very little knack for it. Of course, you're trying to talk these people out of this house that they've already been cursed and they're willing to pay you a ton of money for, so hey, why not? Of course, I learned eventually. I had to. Someone else will, without a doubt, do a better job. Once, though, in a drunken stupor, Rose told me a story of what could have been. Years ago, wide-eyed, young and brimming with yet-to-be-fulfilled dreams and ambitions, she was a term or two away from a nursing degree. Out of courtesy, I never pressed on the matter further. But perhaps it's where the sense of fondness started. A small connection due to one similar experience in our respective lives, of goals we both let pass us by because of the circumstances we're in.
I'd be happy to discuss this over tea, ma'am. All right, I'll be there. Thank you.
New client?
You know, they talked about tea. This is probably somewhere in England, right?
Reassigned. Have you heard from Mark at all?
Not since the first visit to the mansion.
What? Someone else went to the mansion and perhaps got cursed and perhaps disappeared?
Why? No news from the HR yet?
None at all. Boss thinks he ran away.
Ran away to the mansion to die.
I doubt it, though. He's too much of a wimp for that. There must be another reason. Anyway, I've got to meet this one. I'll see you later.
I gotta keep my hand off of... It's like when you have to have trigger discipline when you're holding a gun. No keeping your finger on the trigger. Can't keep my finger on the mouse. She throws a wave over her shoulder as she rushes out of the office. The lunchtime bell sounds shortly after, followed by the chatter of fellow agents also heading out for a much-needed break. That's funny. Here in the US, there is no lunch bell. In fact, they do staggered lunches because they do not want people to chat and talk while on break, and people must always be working, except for when you're on break, only because it's by law mandated. But by gods, they're not going to have break at the same time, unless you're in an office. So, never mind. Ordinarily, there's no need for me to go out. But oversleeping didn't allow me the luxury of packing my own lunch today. If one considers taking an instant noodle cup from my pantry, packing your lunch. Time to make good on the promise I made to Becca, I suppose. Maybe invite Zach and Ash too. Sorry, my throat. In the end, only Becca and Zach could come. Ash, on the other hand, couldn't be reached. All of my calls went straight to his voicemail. He's at it again. Right here today, gone the next day. Oh well, his loss. We have agreed to meet at a nearby cafe, the same one I frequent with Becca because it's cheap and they give away free bread around closing time. Quaint, a little old-fashioned, though looks a wee bit out of place amidst the city's tall buildings, but we love it all the same. Much like its facade, the interior carries an antiquated charm to it. Vintage art pieces and a row of shelves boasting an extensive collection of books, book covers, collection of books cover the walls. Wow, I don't know why I had such a difficulty with that. And you know, I miss coffee shops like that. In my, where I live, it's all Starbucks and one Dutch Bros, but it's a drive-through. And what's going on with this mouse? Is this like an Ash Wednesday mouse or Ash Friday mouse? You know, I don't know when they have it. Wednesday, Friday, maybe it's Saturday or Sunday, I don't know. It would have been nice to hang out here for hours on end, but even on a weekend, the place is still packed with people. Thankfully, Becca and Zach have already found seats and are engaged in some casual chatter when I arrive. It's strange seeing the two of them without Ash accompanying the other. They've never been particularly close. Sure, they talk when they meet, laugh at the same things when there's something funny, but there's distance, the kind born purely out of differing interests. Never mind. That, or Zach's simply afraid of Becca. It's not impossible, and I won't blame him if he is. He might be the tallest in our group, but everyone knows that it means nothing against Becca's temper. Even I am a little scared of her.
Zach! Becca!
Well, you seem to be in a better mood today. What happened? I know that smile, Belle. Come on, still.
Don't rush me. Let's order food first, okay?
A waitress comes by to take our order. On a normal day, me and Becca will order a hearty serving of their special vegetarian stovies. Zach takes anything with a good helping of meat, sausages, or potatoes in it. But today is a good day. Great even. It's not wrong to indulge a little, right?
Today's special. For the three of us.
Even the person jotting down our order looks surprised at today's meal choice. She writes it, nevertheless, and leaves without a comment. Becca furrows her eyebrows, her mouth halfway open, ready to let loose what's likely a string of reprimands.
Don't worry. It's my treat.
She's like, oh my god, you just did not order for me. My god. The glare she sends my way reminds me of the one I received from Mama when I punched a kid bullying my younger brother 18 years ago. Naturally, I never did it again after she made me apologize the next day. But Becca's far from being my mom. Yeah, apologize for punching the kid who was tormenting your younger brother. A small, sheepish grin is enough to turn that frown into a defeated sigh. Food arrives in the middle of a funny story from Zach, putting the rest of the conversation on hold as we are each served our order. It isn't anything fancy. Whoa, that was loud. Hand-roasted sea bass with citrus-dressed asparagus and a portion of mashed potatoes on the side, or at least that's what the daily specials board says. Wow, yeah, that's pretty fancy. That is definitely fancy. I never did pay any attention to it whenever I come here, since they price whatever is written way above what I'm willing to spend on food on a single day.
Oh, good. I'm so hungry, I think I'm dying.
You're always hungry.
Hey, not all the time.
Let me guess. You skipped breakfast again.
Not on purpose. I may have overslept by a few seconds today.
Right then. Stop stalling, Isabella. What's this about?
Why the suspicion? Like, why are you buying us fancy food? What's going on? It's certainly not because you can afford it, so did you get into porn or are you stripping now? What's going on, Belle?
Let us say it, Rebecca. She wouldn't be inviting us out if it wasn't worth hearing out.
Well, we're waiting.
I'm treating you guys to a once-in-a-century thing.
An expectant grin breaks out on my face, except...
I'm sorry, say that again.
And this is important because...
Becca only raises an eyebrow at me, while Zach appears like he didn't get the punchline to another lame joke Ash made, and is desperately searching for someone to explain it. Oh, bummer. Maybe I should rephrase it? That seems kind of mean. And that seems to be, like, part of the joke, so...
Okay, let me do that again. Guess what, guys? I'm paying! I sold the house!
As the news sinks in, their expression goes from sheer bewilderment to utter surprise. That's more like it.
You heard me right, ladies and gentlemen. As of today, I'm Maria Isabella Grace Cruz Santos and free from my instant noodle binge.
So many names, I love it. Actually named a cat. Salvador Alonso Motorero Delgara. It's not Spanish, but he is adorable, and he's up for adoption, and he's cute.
Seriously?
What?
Hold it, Belle. You sold the house?
Holy crap, because she couldn't sell that house? What?
Yep.
Which house is this? In Aslam Village? The one with the open house yesterday?
The one and only. Come on, Becca. I know you've got a better memory than that.
Oh, wow. That's...
She lets out a hum. Although she's nodding, she gives the impression of someone who has heard something unbelievable and is still forcing her brain to absorb it. Oh, what's going on with the relationships? Marianne likes us more? Why is Marianne here? Why is she in this? Rebecca likes us a little bit more. Zach really likes us, probably because we bought him food. Did she think we wouldn't be able to sell it? Have some faith in me, Becca. Am I not your best friend or what? Because by merit being your best friend, she must be able to sell that house.
You don't believe me?
The words tumble out of my mouth before I could stop them. I've been trying to avoid bringing up yesterday's little spat. Judging from the looks on their faces, it seems they are too. Me and my stupid mouth.
I'm sure it ain't the way you're thinking, Bella.
You talked about seeing an apparition, and now you're talking about selling a house. We don't know what to believe. I mean, you're just going crazy, Isabella. You think you sold a house, you think you saw an apparition. We don't know what to believe.